Indeed, some kingdom death while you work. What say we get into it, huh? What say there's a little bit of progress made already? Let's do that. Who do we have here? My goodness. We're going to call this one Female Guts. Yeah, exactly. We've got female guts here. This is this is going to be female guts. How many models have I done in a row now? I think this is day 4. Day 2 really took it out of me because that was Aeneas, and I wasn't. I've been trying to just belt out like a whole bunch of minis at once, and that one I spent too much time on, so that one took a lot of a concentration toll on me. But then recovered with a bit of a speed paint. Has anyone ever noticed that, like, or anyone who paints ever noticed that, like, you put like your whole cock and balls into like one paint job, and then the very next one, like and it goes well, and then the very next one is just trash. Like there's just nothing you can do about it. It's just it is just gonna be shit. Or is that just me? I kind of need I need one. I need like a refractory period after I've painted something half decent. All right. I'm going to be basing up some of this leather here. I've got a contrast paint, a Citadel contrast paint I've never used before, that I'm keen to give a try on this fur. It's a recipe has been recommended to me, so we might give that a little test drive today. In before I just fucking ruin the entire model by trying a paint I've never used. Should have stuck with the safe layering up that I usually do. But no, this Survivor, I used a whole bunch of pieces from other kits, and I've already done the skin. But yeah, this Survivor ended up looking kind of like female guts, which is not bad. It's badass. Yeah, we're just putting the base coat on the leather here now. We do have chill vibes music. I figured out the issue with the music, so we actually have something ambient now, as opposed to silence and my commentary, as exhilarating as that is. There's all these sneaky little bits of leather in between the bits of fur that I want to pick out here. Not a lot of highlighting is going to be done on these because they're not really going to be visible and catching the light. Although in some spots they are. But it's just a matter of actually finding them. Yeah, the hairpiece is I converted that over and sort of cut half her head off and put a whole bunch of different pieces from different kits that I can't even remember. But I remember the hair is the alternate hair for Aeneas, who we just painted. That was the very same Aeneas that robbed me of my ability to concentrate for a while because I really sort of put it in while painting that model. I really liked, I got carried away and I was like, no, fuck it. I'm not painting this fast. I'm going to spend some time with her. Going to do 58 layers for the skin. It'll be great. It'll be grand. Did turn out nicely though, which I liked. I'm tempted to buy another of her and paint it up like for a competition. I like how how it's posed, how the light catches. Like there's so much you can do with the like OSL. If I was to go in and do like a full proper based, like not the just tabletop game basing that I do for these miniatures, but like a proper scene and base and everything with her in it, I reckon you could get a fucking dope competition piece. She's already got her own like custom cool base that comes with the model, and it's nice, like standing in that, like the ruined corpse of that creature. But I can think of better ideas. Let's just say it. Let's just say that. Going to be real careful not to undo all the work I did on the flesh here by accidentally just blobbing a big bit of brown onto it. Sounded like I was going to take a shit onto it, but like just this this brown here. I'm going pretty dark with this as well. Just keeping it relatively subdued. The reason is because I want the sword to eventually be kind of not a massive focal point, but I do want it to pop quite a lot because it is kind of the biggest thing on the model. What is the female version of the name Guts? Or is it like one of those things where it's like that is multiple gender inclusive? You know, it's an androgynous name. I don't think Guts Ina is is too good. Oh, is that leather? Yep, sure. Yeah, so the I've got Gore-grunta fur, which I have never used that contrast paint. And I had all this planned out as painting this as, oh, yep, this is going to be the same fur as the white line, the screaming antelope. That's the one. And I put the little horns on her, like the whole antelope slayer bit. But I actually think that it might be better to have the Gore-grunta as a little trial. But the caveat to that is it does involve me layering this first with Wraithbone, which is not ideal. Because Wraithbone's coverage over black is like a war crime. It is fucking abhorrent. Cannot wait to have to do like 5 layers to get a base coat down, all for the contrast to just be disgusting and for me to just resort to starting over again and just doing it how I always do fur, or at least how I did fur on the antelope. Yeah, cannot wait for that one. That'll be real happy fun times. I'm gonna layer up this this brown quite a lot in the in these really sort of visible areas, but then leave it almost completely muted and subdued, like in these areas, like in here, just where there's really no light play at all. Is that leather? No, no, it is not. Fantastic. There is a little bit of skin there that I've missed, but I will touch that up later. Is that hair? Yeah, there's hair there too. God damn. All right, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to brave the storm. Boys, it's time to actually put Wraithbone out of my fucking palette. That's what we're going to do. That's what we are going to do. Let me get that Wraithbone. Nope, that's a sharp debone. That would be way too easy. Oh, geez. Oh, God. Oh, geez, Rick. This is just going to be so fucking annoying. It's okay. It's okay. It's part of the game. I'm going to get a shitload of it out because we'll need a lot. There we go. There we go. Oh my, it's so watery even without being watered down. Oh, and it's so pale. This is going to be perfect for the black undercoat. Outstanding. I love even more that I have to be like really careful with this coat. That makes it so much nicer. Oh God. Just putting it on the brush, I can tell how painful this is going to be. Huge. Okay. It's doing it. It's covering. It's doing better than I thought. Man, I haven't painted in Wraithbone in ages. It might actually be... Guys, I think we're onto it. This is not as bad as I remembered. This might be a 2-code operation. Holy shit. This is like finding $50 in your own pocket. It's like, damn, a gift from me to me. A little bit better contrast than or not contrast, coverage than I thought. Got my mind a step ahead on the contrast. Hell yeah. Okay. Now watch the contrast be absolute dog shit. Watch the contrast paint that I put on here ruin the entire mini. I'm calling it right now. Something goes wrong. Oh, there's the coverage I was thinking. Good, good. And this slightly longer paintbrush is really fucking me right in the mic stand. But I kind of like this for this exact job, so I'm not switching. I ain't changing. I'm going absolutely fucking nowhere. I love the pose. Oh, thanks, man. Actually, Jesse, did we... Thank you, Jesse. Jesse or Stephen? Stephen Jesse. It's always confusing. Thank you, Stephen Jesse. Whatever you choose to be. Okay. Okay. This is a premium viewing angle right here. My cat just got fed. Well, his automatic feeder just went off. So he's going to come down here and he is going to be the most vocal little man, being like, I am so satisfied now. Everyone must know that I have eaten because I will meow the fucking house down to let you know. Ivar has been fed, everybody. We all live to play another day. Okay. All right. It's kind of looking like the White Lion right now because I haven't done anything to it. But this is how I based the White Lion's fur when I did like a white fur, which I actually regret. On the White Giga Lion, I'm just going to do normal fur and I'll do like a pale skin for it instead. Because white fur kind of looks bad. Not bad, just boring. And when you're painting a monster, like its mane, the lion's mane is obviously going to be like a big focal point in the piece. So it's not ideal if that part is like invoking yawns. Damn. Yeah, we got some serious fucking elevator music going on here, boys. God day. As we elevate our painting skills right to the top. Gonna see how many days in a row I can just put brush to paint. It'll probably stop when I travel. It will stop when I travel. But at the moment, work has permitted me to do this. Whoop. Hell yeah. It's nice when you're like busy like all day and then there's just a little bit of painting. I don't know, man. That's like kind of a good detox for me. I know a lot of people find painting stressful and that's why they don't do it. Just got to reframe that, man. You're never going to get everything painted if you hate it. Also, it comes in waves. It honestly does. Like, I'll have waves where I'm like, all I want to do is paint. That's all we'll be doing for the next fucking 3 weeks. And then I'll be like, I never want to see another fucking drop of paint on a brush in my entire life. I suppose because it is quite time consuming. Like, there's no two ways around it. But I don't know, painting small scale stuff like this, most of the time is actually just spent waiting for coats to dry, bro. Everything else is kind of, wow, that was a lot of paint all at once. Maybe move that bad boy around a bit there, huh, Chief? Maybe don't leave a blob of paint that fucking big on there. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? End up looking like one of them fucking eBay rescue horror story models. The chunky marine. Someone commented on one of my... Actually, I think it was when I was painting the Lonely Tree. And they're just like, thinning my paint... I don't thin my paints because it takes too long. Bro, you're so fucking busy. That is crazy. Getting a bit of water out of the cup and putting it on the model takes... putting it on the... in the blob of paint and then swishing that around takes too long. This man's got fucking places to be, I tell you. Kind of crazy. Diabolical work. It's too slow to thin the paints. Bro, it's slow to fucking... Because you technically... Okay, based opinion coming in here. You technically do not have to thin paints. You technically don't. I mean, they behave so much better, I don't understand why you wouldn't. But you're technically correct. But you have to move the paint around so much on the miniature to thin it out appropriately that it's like, dog, just thin the fucking paint. It costs you nothing. It's like water. Literal water cost. Time. Oh yes, it takes me way too long to thin the fucking paint. Crazy. Diabolical. I've never been that busy in my entire life. That's interesting. I would actually do a... I wonder if I should do that. I want to do kind of like a challenge of... I don't thin the paint, and I just move the paint around as much as is required to spread the pigment out without it getting, like, all fucked us looking. I wonder if I could actually paint something like that. Put my money where my mouth is, huh? I could definitely paint something like that. What am I talking about? It's just, would it look like the fucking, the eBay rescue? It'd definitely be really annoying. Because I'm assuming that, because I don't really know. Because I don't paint like a fucking crazy person. I'm assuming that, like, thinned paint dries slower than thick paint. I assume. If you move it, if you like, okay, thinning and thickening. If you move it around a lot until it is artificially thin, like not with water, just with like mechanically thin it out on the model, I'm assuming it dries fucking quickly, which poses pros and cons. I'm assuming it fucks your brush up as well. Probably don't want to use a I don't want to use a Kolinsky Sable on just a 2-hour painting session with no fucking thinned paints. I'm assuming the results there would be kind of diabolical for the brush. And the detail, right? I'm assuming it fucks your detail. Like, I know even with, like, painting skin, there's no way I could paint skin like that. There's just no fucking way. It's just, it would be, the way I paint skin, not a chance. Not a chance. It would be impossible. Fuck it, we cover that up. Because, I mean, I do a lot of pale skin. And, like, I don't know, man. Have you ever just seen how clumpy and chalky just pale skin tone colors are without thinning them? Kind of insane. Kind of a wild proposition. Oh my god, there's so much shade here. I can't... Bloody hair is in the way of me seeing where anything is. I just can't see shit. I'm assuming I'm just painting fur here. Stupid hairstyle that I came up with and put on this miniature at, like, had to manually convert it to do this, and I hate it. I'm still complaining about it. I don't care whose fault it is, especially if it's mine. I don't want to hear it. Very tempted to do a squid mar. Just not paint the back, bro. Just forget about it. Nobody sees this anyway, you know? I had a friend who recently had a kid, and I just saw his name pop up on Steam, getting in a little gaming session. Good to see him taking a little bit of me time, you know? He's been flat track. Flat track. Oh my god, this part under the hair is really quite irritating. Which sculptor modeled this? Oh, it was me. Can't wait. I always love painting Kingdom Death survivors because it's like, can't wait for this person to just get fucking one shot immediately. Some stupid shit to happen to this survivor that I spent all this time on. That'll be so much fun. Nothing like it's why it's hard to justify, like, going okay, that being said, there are so many cool sculpts, it's actually easy to justify, but it's hard to justify from a purely utilitarian perspective, doing like a competition paint of a Kingdom Death model that you're actually going to play with, because don't get attached, you know? Do not get attached. Mistake numero uno playing Kingdom Death: naming the survivor after yourself. I see so many players get super attached to their first survivor, and then they learn. I've had a player burst into tears at the table when their survivor died. True story. True story. I mean, they were fine. It wasn't like they were inconsolable, but they were crying. Man, there's a lot of fur on this armor. Holy shit. I'm just realizing this. I know it's like the White Lion armor or whatever, but was more focused on other pieces of the sculpt. Okay. Serious ambient elevator core. Okay. Now, I gotta see, because these areas, this brown is so dark, it blends in with the black. So gotta be a little mindful. Gonna be holding this bad boy in some wacky ways in a second. This Citadel brush, honestly, I've had this thing for like 20 years. It's actually kind of crazy. This is the workhorse. I thought this thing was synthetic, but it kind of behaves like a natural hair. So I've just been beating the shit out of it, but it's actually just holding its own. It's kind of impressive. I am going to have to rinse it out in a second here, though, because it's getting, you know, like a 48-hour detox? A cleanse? 48-hour cleanse? This thing's going on a fucking 48-hour clog, bro. Look at it. Oh, look at it. Beautiful. I'd have to just rinse that bad boy off. Give him a shower. Hose him down. Hose that bad boy down. That's better. Old James Workshop giving me this one. That's better. Let's get back into that. There we go. Doesn't help that I'm using like quite a lot of paint on each pass, but it's just because this, I've thinned it out. It won't leave big fucking globs and residue. Do not panic. It's just very, very bad coverage otherwise. Okay, we're gonna sacrifice the brown to save the skin, because we do not want anything interacting with the skin where it shouldn't. And I can always repaint the brown. I love how much life it gives to a model just to pick out like trim and fur detail. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Even with completed fur, you know, even with completed skin, it's like you've heard me say multiple times. You can't judge the skin and how everything will look until you've actually painted a few of the other colors around and seen how it like interacts, how the warmth interacts with the rest of the color palette of the miniature. Okay. How much fur have I missed on the back there? Be honest. I can take it. Nearly none. Nearly none. Let's make that none at all. It's a very weird vantage point to paint from. That's okay. Definitely going to have to repaint that brown. All right. Let's do the bit on the hand. Some positively serene shit going on right now. I am zen. Yeah, I can't wait for me to just hate this contrast paint. I'm not the biggest fan of contrast paints as it is, so, you know, it'll be very lovely to just have that bias confirmed when I absolutely despise what I'm about to do to this model. But I'm sure I can fix it. I'm establishing I know I'm going to go over these claws in a different color, but it'll just be easier to go over them in a Wraithbone than you know, realistically, I should have undercoated this in Wraithbone, come to think of it. But I didn't realize I was going to use a contrast paint on it when I was first toying around with the ideas of painting it. You know what? Let's leave that till when we have a detail brush on us. As much as I want to paint over the skin again. Oh yeah. Okay, fine. A little bit more as a treat. As a nice treat. Okay. How much more fur have we got here? A little bit on the boots. The boots with the fur. Oh my god, the whole club looking at her. All this to just, as I said, I can't wait for the contrast paint to just be the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. How cathartic. All right, let's get that fur on the boots. Let's get that fur on the boots. Oh yeah, it's true. Secret painting Instagram link has changed in all the painting videos. I am thinking about separating the channel out, but honestly, this whole channel is just a passion project anyway, so you guys just gonna have to deal with whatever I fucking post and be fucking happy about it. You know when people are like, oh, I don't do this for the money, and they're usually YouTubers by trade, right? Like they're usually like the people who actually are doing this for work. And they're like, oh, you know, it's not about the money. And then, you know, that's clearly a lie, because without this medium, they would have nothing. And they, you know, they're driven a little bit by the algorithm, etc. For me, this is literally not about money. So if you're expecting optimized content and algorithms and shit like that, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I've got to just have a creative outlet, and I can only have I can only feel like I'm not wasting time when I'm actively doing something. So I choose to record and broadcast my hobbies. But man, you want to talk about, like, I had a comment under one of my videos that was like, such and such. It was like a 100-view video or something. It was now that video is sitting at like 400. I don't know why Ramet has suddenly taken off, but it was like, sub 100 views, time to get a job, buddy. Brother, you think this is my fucking job? Are you crazy? Are you fucking insane? What 500 subscriber YouTuber is doing this for their job? That's what are they eating? Ice soup? Crazy. All right, I think that's all the fur. I think that is all the fur, in which case I'm going to go around and retouch up some of the brown that we've taken to Fur Town accidentally. Let's do that. Okay, where are you? Show me the money. Not really that many areas, to be honest. A little bit of brown there that I just didn't paint. And a bit on the belt, which is not the end of the world. Yeah, it's fine. There you are. You know, I could just use the Gore Grunter on a lighter brown as well, but you got to have some. This ain't no contrast only nonsense. Contrast paints have made this hobby kind of too accessible. Hot take, very hot take. But it's like, man, I don't know. You sort of lose the like learning to paint phase. Does that make sense? Like I'm not by any means like a good, quote unquote, good painter. But you just, there needs to be a certain learning curve of painting. You can't just airdrop in and fucking Wraithbone base coat and then they contrast it up and Bob's your uncle. Although that is a really, really fast way. I will say, and it's probably because this is what I'm used to, but damn, contrast paints are actually really goated for painting bulk Space Marines, because fuck me, Space Marines are boring. So in that respect, I can see the utility for a contrast paint or a speed paint. We use a lot of Citadel paints here, but they're not the only paints that I use. But man, they really did make those their versions of speed paints, their contrast paints, just for the Marines, because man, they needed them. it's crazy that their like main selling vehicle, like their big money maker, is so fucking boring, dude. That's probably a hot take too. But they are. Don't at me. Marines are just I love the stories, dude. I do. I love the lore. And then you see the models and you're like, sick. 100 of the same dude? Fuck yeah, dude. Can't wait to paint that. No wonder people have such a massive pile of shame with Games Workshop shit. He says having like the biggest pile of shame of Kingdom Death in the observable universe. They went up onto the fucking International Space Station. They were like, "What the fuck is that?" It's my pile of shame. But we're getting through it. So I said, a mini a day, bro. A mini a day. Obviously, until we get to the monsters and stuff like that, the bigger stuff, because that takes me a little while. I think the Lonely Tree, admittedly, it wasn't like solid days, but it was 3 days of painting, which is, you know, a few hours each day. But it's just because of the size of it and the detail. You know, it's just so much. It's just like, it's not quick and easy like one of these little 35 mil base models. Hello, Ivar. Hey, little man. You've waited until now to start touching my elbow and wanting to have my attention. You usually wait until I'm doing the eyes on a model, and then you jump up onto my desk. Adorable boy. Hey, little man. Oh, okay. I only wanted to interact with you without you turning around to perceive me, father. Okay. Okay, fine. Man, true metallics? Is there anything more rapturous than using a true metallic and not doing NMM on like on these models? God, it's so fucking lazy. It almost feels sinful. Oh. Yes, yes, yes. You're just like, oh, I'm done. That was so quick. Is it already over? All right, let's get up into here. So the whole reason that I actually did this, it's not really a conversion. It's more of a kit bash. I mean, there's a little bit of sculpting, like molding for the hair and stuff like that in the head. But the main reason I actually did that was because I couldn't figure out how these fucking legs went together. So I was like, well, that's a real goofy ass pose. They were the only 2 legs left in the kit, so they got to go on there. Everything else fitting like a glove. And I was like, well, this is the only way I can make them fit. And so the only way I can make that not look goofy as hell is to have them swinging a giant sword in like mid-step. So, you know, from the ashes was birthed this beautiful Gutsina. Yep. Good bit of true metallic there on the fur. Fantastic. Watch me completely forget that's there. I'll be like, what touch up? What touch up? Touch up, never heard of her. I'm telling you, this mic stand to paintbrush interaction, bro. This is what they came to see. All right. Did I forget anything there? No. How about you on this side? Yes, there we go. Fucking wood flute going absolutely crazy in this song. All right, I'll just paint skin over that. I'll do a little bit on the edge of that because what you don't realize is when I pick up the model, I'm going to look right at this part here. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to look right under the armor plate right there. That's where I'm going to be looking. You think, oh, no one will look at that. I will look at that. It's going to be me. And I pick your fucking finished model up. I'm going to turn it around to the most awkward part. And then if you haven't painted it properly, man, be prepared. That's going to be some serious judgment. So don't think, oh, I just don't have to do that part. You know, no one's ever going to look at it. Wrong. So fucking wrong. It's me. I am the one you fear. I'll be like, great paint job, man. Shame about the back of that fucking shin plate. Exactly. Shame on your entire family will be brought down. Yeah, I've got that coming out as a short. Just the skin that I did on Aeneas Kick Chat. So you will get that. I already put up the basic skin tone recipe from the I was going to call them ugly fruit, the monster fruit. For the from the Lonely Tree. I just put up a short about skin tones because people kept asking me during that that live chat. But it's pretty easy. I'll do a little bit of it here, but I've already done the skin on this one. I painted that while I had some spare skin tone just laying on a palette one time when I was doing something else. And then this one's just been... It's not quite pile of shame because she wasn't just in grey plastic, but she's just been sitting there all skin and nowhere to go, you know? All dolled up and nowhere to fucking go. Hot to trot, but nothing else. Yeah, I'm just electing to say this blade is stone, by the way. I know that it might very well be metal, but to me, just the idea of her like lugging around a big fucking stone blade is kind of awesome. It's like so impractical. At what point is a stone blade also just a club? Because this thing is pretty fucking thick. I don't think you're going to be cutting much with that bad boy right there. That cutting edge is not like a obsidian stone. This is like a cobblestone. You know, cobblestone, Minecraft boys in the chat just fucking losing their mind. Oh my god, the underside of this is also going to be quite pleasant. Isn't it? Isn't it? I can already tell. We're going to talk about Netflix Avatar. Is that what you're talking about in Kick Chat? Don't be doing that shit. Just watch the cartoon and be happy for what you had. Don't let them ruin it for you. Oh, but introducing that made it so much more real. No, it didn't. No, it didn't, bro. It simply didn't. I don't care what you have to say. The original series was goated. As far as I'm concerned, nothing else exists. I'm not even going to entertain. It won't be as good, so I'm not even going to bother. What about the Paramount one? The Paramount one? Man, as I just said, everything that is not the original animated series, I'm checked out on, boss. I'm just checked out on it. You know, when you've had the goat, you know, it's hard to go back to like milk and toast, you know? When you're sitting there with like a beautifully cooked biryani, it's hard to just go back to something as bland as like milk and toast. Okay? I don't need all these reboots, bro. They got him the first time. They legit just got him the first time. I think that's all the straight metal. Obviously, there's a buckle there, but I'm just going to pick that out as a highlight. That rope or teeth around her neck? Great question. Great question. I might just put... Oh, man, did I just miss all that fur? Am I an idiot? I feel like I'm an idiot. That's all right. It's okay. We can go maximum stupid mode every now and then. We can do it. I'm going to touch up the fur. Fortunately, the Wraithbone paint's so watery, and I watered it down so much that it hasn't dried at all on the wet palette. Whoever's not using a wet palette, by the way, as well, if you're painting, Doc, just... Why do you hate yourself so much? You know? Why are you going through this, like, voluntary vow of poverty? And don't come at me with, like, oh, it's not voluntary, wet palettes are expensive. Man, you can literally make a wet palette at home. It's actually, like, just baking paper and paper towels. Motherfuckers out here talking about $3 of expense. Water from the tap. Dasani, fresh from the bottle, will even do. Maybe not Dasani. Kick, boys, the music is too loud. Okay, hold on. Let me check that in a second, Kick. Once I've done this... Oh, don't let me forget about that part that I accidentally painted with True Metallic. Thank you. Thank you. Kick, you had my back. I doubted you, but you did. I'm going to go over a couple of these areas here as well, just where the paint needs a little bit of help. A little wind assist. Dog, I kind of want to... Is that better? There we go. All right. Now we're cooking with ass. There we are. Yeah, just where it has... Man, even that thinned, if I just left it like that, it'd have a chalky texture. Kind of crazy. Oh my god, that's a big miss hit right there. Damn. Look at this. And Jesus, middle of the shin. What was I doing down there? Nowhere near with what I was painting. Okay, we're going to go a little bit more over the back here as well. That's kind of a big blob of paint. I'm going to have to move that around quite a bit. Oh my god, is that fur up there? Or is that just her hair? That's her hair. Okay, we're going to have to go over that. Hell yeah. Yes, 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 Kick Chat, yes. I will. Give me a second. Give me a second, boys. Papa's on a roll. I'm rolling hot. All right. There we go. Well, all right. Great viewing angle. Yeah, I know. Kick. All right, hold on. I swear to God, if I investigate this and you guys have just been fucking with me. All right. Hold on. Give me a second. Great viewing angle. Yeah. There we go. Well, all right. great viewing angle. Yeah, I know. Kick. All right, hold on. I swear to God, if I investigate this and you guys have just been fucking with me, I swear to God. All right. Hold on. You guys, I swear. Oh my God. Biggest babies. Honestly, big baby energy. In fact, I'm turning the music up now, Kick. Fuck you. The music will become louder until morale improves. The saxophone will get louder until morale improves, Kick. Okay? YouTube might be quiet. In fact, it's usually just Steve and Jesse in there. But at least he doesn't pull that shit on me. Haha, one guy. Okay. Yeah. All right. Very funny. All right, we're sort of making progress. I'm gonna do a little bit of red now for her hair, but also there's one piece of brown right at the top there that I missed. The side of her like leather helmet piece here. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure. Good stuff. Okay, okay. Yeah. It's just that easy? Alright. What other leather? If I was leather that I had forgotten, where would I be? Just gonna make sure we've got that one. Bit in here. What's the latest show of what? Hell's Paradise Season 2. Got that weeaboo shit on deck, Kick. Wait, is that painted? No. There we go. As I said, I'm going to be looking there. I will know. Okay. There is some more metal. There is. I see it. I'll seize it. Alright. Let's do that. Get the metal. Get the metal. Get the strap. Yeah, I hope you guys are ready for ominous elevator music. I did turn it up. And that's all thanks to you, Kick, complaining that it was so loud you couldn't hear me. And then having me check it and it being just completely fine. You got me. But there's consequences. Okay. Cool. Can't wait to do all my shades here at once and then have to wait for them all to dry all at once. It'll be great. It'll be grand. It'll be a fantastic old time. Why no Twitch? Bro, I don't got no politics to spout. That's why no Twitch. Why no Twitch? Fucking crazy. Crazy question. Insane question. We're too chill over here for that shit. Where is my reds? The reds? Ugh. You know what? Fine. I'm doing a little bit of hair touch up here. We'll do it. Bit of corn red. Just a touch of corn red here. Nice hair base coat. I only need so little of it. It seems like such a shame to put any out on the palette. That's fine. Thin that shit down. Yeah, that guy being like, man, that takes way too long. Dog. That took me 2 seconds. Literally just dipped the paint into water and smeared it into the little puddle on the palette. Man's got places to fucking be, let me tell you. That shit take too long. I wish I'd memorized that guy's name. Fuck, that was a funny comment. Cinema paints takes too long. I got shit to do, bro. Can't you see? Can't be out here spending 2 seconds, like 20 times a miniature. God damn. I'll never get anything done. Alright, gonna paint this hair. It's gonna be totally fine. I'm not gonna hit the ear. I'm not gonna hit the ear. Chat, I'm not gonna hit the ear. Alright? That's what I'm not gonna do. Fuck. Ye of little faith, chat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They call me the needle threader. I'm gonna do the other side here now too. Okay. All right. Good stuff. I did have a little bit here that I don't need to touch up. Okay, fantastic. Do I have any other red that I want to put on this bad Mamma Jamma? No, I'm going to put some gold up here. Oh, and it's not even going to be... Holy shit. It's going to be true metallic gold. This is, quite frankly, hedonistic at this point. I was like, man, got to keep that gold bangle in mind, because the NMM there's going to take a bit. Nah, man. The hour of true metallics is upon us. I use fucking true metallic, not straight out of the tin. That would be insane. I've got a different paint pot. I've got a different pot for my water whenever I use true metallics, because you don't want to mix the true metallic water. It'll have the particles of the true metallic in it, and it can really fuck up your paintbrush and mixing it in with the other paints with those particles. If you get paint water that's saturated enough, it will mess your shit up pretty bad with the other paints. It's also just hard to get out of a brush. Okay. Oh man, rapturous ease. That's what I'm going to describe this as. Rapturous ease. I don't even need to think about reflections, bro. It'll just do it for me. Will it be as good as the NMM? Hell no. Did it take 1/10 of the time? Maybe even less. Maybe even less. That's the brass tacks of it. What are you doing down there, Ivar? Huh? I had people be like, how did you do Aeneas's skin? Like, man, you just take longer. Like, they're like, I want an easy way to do Aeneas's skin. That is the easy way. Dude, all it costs you is time. You just want to thin them paints down and do like 4 layers per skin coat. It'll be fine. You'll love it. You get really, really good at painting that exact area 4 times. Every layer. For 6 layers. It'll be great. You'll have a grand old time. But that really is the secret to smooth skin. Like, you're only going to get that chalky, clumpy bullshit when you don't thin out, especially pale skin, dude. I painted a darker skinned miniature recently. Man, I just did like 1 coat per layer. It was totally fine. It looked fucking great. Like, I did that so slap happy, so fucking fast. And it just turned out amazing. All right. Where are we going with this now? What do I want to do while that is drying? I think I'm right to paint the contrast. Okay. Chat, I'm going to make a deal with you. This is an unopened Gore-grunta fur. Alright? I have been told good things about Gore-grunta fur. If this does not work out, I'm going to hold my breath until I die. Okay? Oh, the opening? Should I thin this? I got contrast medium. No, fuck it. We do no test piece. This isn't a big enough project to warrant a test piece. We're just going to go straight on. Oh my god, this is going to ruin everything, isn't it? Maybe let's go on the back of the shin. Let's do that. Okay, Gore-grunter fur, I see you. God, it behaves really well. Holy shit. Some of these, like, Citadel contrasts especially are just like kiddie pools, bro. They're just pool fucking everywhere. You're like, large flat surface on a raised portion. Don't mind if that's where all the contrast fucking pools and goes. Okay, Gore-grunter. I mean, this is definitely not a one-stage thing. It's got a little bit of that Citadel quality to it. That fucking kiddie pool extraordinaire. All right. This isn't bad. I want to see how it dries, because Citadel contrast paints especially dry like super different to how they look when you apply them. Get out of it. Do we just gamble? Do we just take the fucking risk? Man, that was a lot. Oh my god. Do we just take the risk? Do we just paint a big area and just hope it dries sexy? You know what I'm talking about? Do we just do that? You know, I'm not unhappy with that. It does need like a Xandri dust or something over the top. Like, as it sits now, as I said, this is probably going to dry completely fucking differently. But as it stands now... Ooh, she's Citadel pooling. God damn. As she stands now... Holy fuck, man. These contrasts, dude, they're like raised flat area. Best I can do. Recess shading, no sir. Raised flat area, we love that shit. More of that, please. I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna send it. Remember what she looked like before we did the contrast, okay? Never forget her beauty. It was like the roughest shit ever before that contrast. Never forget. Oh my god. That is it's a big I'll tell you what, it ain't afraid of soaking into the bristles of the brush, let me tell you that much. You get a lot per, like, I'm just putting the tip of the brush into that. And that is a not insignificant amount of contrast paint that has come with me along for the ride. You know, I don't hate it, and that's really scaring me. I was fully the reason that I even pulled this out of the fucking pile of shame was I was fully expecting to just ruin it with this. Because this is one of my least favorite armor sets in Kingdom Death, this exact pose. I don't know why, just don't like it. Yeah, I mean, correct, KickChat. Yeah. Yeah, me painting a male Kingdom Death model for the first time in history yesterday. And this is one of the rare non-pinup models you will see me paint. What can I say, man? I like painting skin, okay? It's as simple as that. I've said this before, but it's not like a weird, like, gooner thing to me. I think if you're gooning to your fucking 35mm miniatures, you've got a bit of an issue that might need more than a live streamer's commentary to resolve. Like, yeah, they're you know, intentionally a sexier, more provocative sculpt, but dude, you're not sitting there blasting rope to your Kingdom Death miniatures, I hope. You ever heard of these things called real women, dude? Because they don't look like that, but they look like, you know, actual flesh humans, and you can interact with them. And sometimes they're nice to you. I would recommend that. You know, if you find yourself in a dark place where you're like, man, I think I like that painting video of Aeneas a little bit too much. Firstly, a very progressive take given Aeneas's history, so I congratulate you. But also, man, I don't like using the term touch grass. But maybe instead, just go out there, find a woman, get her consent, touch some ass, you know? That's what it's really all about. There's no shame in that. Don't know how we got onto that rant. I paint one non-pinup character, and I'm extolling the virtues of not being terminally online and interacting with real women. Okay, I'm starting to see some problems with this Gore-Grunter fur. It is very dark, and it is doing the Citadel thing. It's not bad. This is not a bad contrast paint. I could see this being a very good speed paint. I would, in future applications, probably thin this bad boy down. You know what? I might even use... No, I'm just thinking to myself here of what I can use to highlight this. But yeah, probably best with maybe a 2-to-1 of the contrast and contrast medium. Might have given that a bit better performance. I'm still of the belief that if you produce a contrast paint, Citadel, if you produce a contrast paint, the painter should be able to use that without having to buy another thing to make the paint fucking work. Like, to make a... Like, okay, yes, contrast medium, okay, fantastic. I like turning contrasts into glazes. You know, it is very useful for that exact thing, and it's made for it, and you can just use water, yada yada. All the arguments aside, I think it's pretty shitty, Citadel. I do. And you're not the only company that does it, but you're feeling my wrath now because I'm painting with a Citadel contrast paint. But yeah, I shouldn't have to have fucking speed medium or contrast medium to fucking make the paint work. Dog, just make it work out of the fucking tin. That's the whole point. Okay, the back piece looking kind of crispy. I don't know about that. I don't know. It's very dark. I'm really going to have to highlight it up. I'll probably use something like a Xandri dust to just layer that up a little bit so that it's not as dark, and then maybe a Sharpty bone just on the very, very... Fuck, we might even get crazy, Chad. I might even do a dry brush, like a selective dry brush. While the skin is painted and everything else around it is painted. Hell yeah. I like high-risk dry brushing, bro. No, I'm probably definitely going to layer that, not dry brush it. This is not a miniature for dry brushing. It is neither a tree nor a miniature that is big enough to make that not look like shit. Okay, trick shot, trick shot. You guys can't see this, but I just pulled off the greatest trick shot of all time. You'll just have to take my word for it. Your word against mine. See you in court. Are we YouTube mogging? Yes, you are. Kick, you don't understand. Listen, you guys are the live audience, and YouTube is just the joke audience. Yeah, all 7 of us. Yes, all 7 of you. That was like a self-owned kick chat. Yes, it hurt me, but it hurt you too. You took some damage from that one too. They're not here to defend themselves. That's why you can bully them. If YouTube chat was here, wait, is Stephen Jesse here? You know, to be real, he is a real one. We call him an honorary kick chat member. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. High stakes, high stakes. Okay, we're fine. Oh god, there's another part. Alright, alright. Get the underboob fur. Yep, alright, alright. Yeah, this is really, really subdued when it dries. Like, you can see that it's almost like a golden brown, like a perfectly cooked hash brown. It's going to mean that I either need to highlight it up quite effectively, or I need to make something else the focal point, which I'm kind of okay with doing a bit of both. Holy shit, Citadel, this is crazy. Welcome to the kiddie pool effect, dude. Just up. I put some on my finger. Never good. Never good. I say that's never good because you will just end up touching other parts of the miniature. It's not like it's going to poison you. Considering I put this paintbrush in my mouth, I really don't think it touching my finger is the Super concerning. You're still on the fucking Avatar movie, dude. As I said, equally insignificant to every other Avatar remake that's ever been made. That's my hot take. You know what else okay, this is a little bit tangential, but Kingdom Death miniatures interacting with like paint holding stands like this one that I'm using here. Man, Poots really did knock it out of the park with bases that are fucking hard to put in paint holding stands. If it was his intention to make it like almost impossible to secure a Kingdom Death miniature in a standard paint stand, he fucking crushed it. He knocked it out of the park. And a lesser man would find that annoying. But I find the constant almost need of the model to rotate in the paint stand actually quite rewarding, you know? I kind of, now, when I paint something like a GW mini or like a bust, I miss it. I sometimes cover my the hand I'm holding in grease just to simulate, you know, a little bit of what Adam Poots has brought into being here with other properties. It's really magical. Okay. I think aside from the glove, that's all the fur. So let's put this glove to bed. Yeah, it is a dark fur. It is a dark fur. It's not popping yet, but I'm not completely unhappy with how Gore Grunter has actually turned out. Because some of the contrast paints are fucking terrible. I'm picking on Citadel a lot because I'm painting with a lot of Citadel paints today. But they're not the only ones. They do make good paints. They do. Contrast paints just a little bit hit and miss. Army paint or speed paints are worse. There you go. There's something nice about Citadel. How about that? Someone who paints only with army paint is going to fucking jump in my comment section and just be like, listen here. I know your address. They'll just reply with a photo of my address. A perfect painting hand-drawn of my loved ones. All right. Okay. We got some fur. We got some fur down there, baby. We did get some fur down. What I'm going to do now is I might do one of the other washes while we're waiting. That contrast is actually drying fairly fast, which is nice. But you know what won't dry fairly fast? My close personal friend, Nuln Oil. Let me tell you, Nuln Oil is the difference between like a complete beginner and like an average painter. Like, you can be a total novice and you can whack that shit with some Nuln Oil. It's going to look pretty good, bro. It's going to look pretty fucking good. Which is crazy. But I don't think anything's ever come close to Nuln Oil in the ability to just mask all mistakes and make all paint look better. Like, okay, admittedly, if you actually want to paint to a very high standard, there's almost no use case for like washes and Nuln Oil and stuff like that. But goddamn, when you're just being a lazy little bastard like I am right now, sheesh, Nuln Oil is good. God damn. I remember when I was very early on in my painting, I used to say all of my painting skill is held within a pot of Nuln Oil. Everything that I have ever created is purely due to the effect that Nuln Oil has on my existing base coats. Did anyone else get taught to paint in a Warhammer store? Like initially? Or was that just like a formative memory that only I possess? Because their whole like base coat, wash, dry brush, tabletop. I mean, it's not terrible. It's really good. Like, that's kind of their own version of speed painting, you know? I feel that's like GW's version of slap chop. The GW slap chop. I painted, the only reason I'm even thinking about this is because I was like, I'm going to try painting like that with a Survivor that I painted yesterday. And man, what I noticed, it just takes so fucking long. Like, for an actual, like, yes, it's very simple. Like, it's like a brain-dead version of... Not brain-dead, that's mean. It's a very simple version of painting a mini. But, like, it takes so long. You're just constantly waiting for the fucking washes to dry, dude. And you can do, like, nothing else until that's done, because the entire step is painting the washes. Which is not ideal. Okay, I'm going to... Is that hair? Sure. Okay, okay. Little touch up there. Still managed to not get anything on the face. This is a, this is a huge moment for me. All right. You know what? While we're waiting for those... no, I'm going to put one more little wash on there. One more little cheeky one. Where is it? Where the fuck is my Agrax Earthshade? Yes, sir. Get some Agrax Earthshade up in here. Mute the fuck out of that gold, because at the moment it's looking... You know there's like... Okay, I don't mean to say that's like an Indian-only gold store, but like every single one of these stores that I've seen that is like this is Indian. Like they do like the like Hindi and Punjabi iconography on all the gold pieces that they sell, but it's like that ridiculously yellow gold, like that 22, 24 karat shit. And the shop is like, just here's $1 billion of gold on display, and it all looks like cheese. If you ever wanted gold that looks like cheese in the shape of elephants, buddy, you've hit the fucking jackpot right here. You know those stores? That's what that was looking like before I just hit it with that Agrax Earthshade. Man, this you can tell this is how pervasive Citadel is. Look how much this is aching for a dry brush, dude. It is screaming its name. All right, this is it all is deafening over the sound of that begging for a fucking dry brush, man. Absolutely insane. And that's how Citadel designed the paints, so I suppose good job. All right. I'm gonna mix up now some... You know what? We are doing a couple of contrast paints here, actually. Come to think of it. Because I got Skeleton Horde that I'm going to use for the most... Yeah, I will use Skeleton Horde for that, actually. Okay, so far I fell in the wet palette. Oh my god, update the drop counter. Alright, it's okay. It's okay. We managed to avoid getting anything on the model, it would seem. It would appear as if I have cheated to death. There was a big blob of, like, of Wraithbone right there, too, just waiting to accept my mistake. It's not as bad as when I dropped the Lonely Tree, bro. I dropped the Lonely Tree, and that was all Kicked Out would talk about the entire rest of this fucking stream. Well, don't drop it again. They made me put a drop counter up. People were like, why is that there? Don't ask about it. It's a very touchy topic. All right. Also, it broke when I dropped it, which is never ideal. Ugh. All right. Let's put some respect on the skull up here, huh? Put some respect on this name right here. Hell yeah. Man, that looks so funny now that all the other colors are like really dulled down and muted. It's just like, here's a fucking bright bone colored skull. How about that? How about you have one of those? You'd love that, wouldn't you? With the goofiest angle I think I've ever painted anything. Okay. Down, down. This is very chill music, I will say. Holy shit. This is some fucking crazy just... I feel like I'm walking into one of those, like... You know those nature stores where there's always, like, a tarot card reading service and they sell, like, candles and swords? Is that a thing where you guys are from? Kick chat, I hate to mention this, but you're down to 3 people. So... You're arguing literally in a very, very closed echo chamber there. Better than YouTube Zero. Yeah, okay. Fair. Again, a nice own of me and of YouTube at the same time. Commendable. I've been streaming on Kick for longer, man, and I've explained this before. I've explained why. I explained why you guys got me for like a year before I did YouTube. I ain't explaining it again. Does involve being stalked. It's fine. I had to flee to Kick Chat. And to be fair, they welcomed me into their ample bosom. There's still a little bit of a stigma about being like, yeah, I'm going live on Kick. I'll admit and acknowledge that, and I think all the Kick boys could realistically admit that too, you know? You guys know. You guys are kind of, you know, the kids at the back of the bus. But it's okay. I'm right there with you. Yes, but okay, you can say things like that, but just not in my chat. Okay? Let's make a handshake. Let's not get crazy. Let's not have gamer words flying left, right, and center. I'm watching you. I will enforce moderation. 3 people, dog. You cannot hide. What are you talking about, hide away? You must have mistaken me for a larger streamer. Even saying streamer just feels like so filthy, dude. Such a crazy... Makes me feel like that guy who was like, you need to get a job, was right. Oh my god. I do need to get a job. I just called myself a fucking streamer. The most jobless profession there is. Okay, alright. Yes, sir. Okay. I think I am going to address the bandage on that right arm. And then I might have a little tinker around with the actual stone blade itself. Because I'm going to have to mix colors, because I just don't have colors that will work on that. But let me get some... What are we going to do with that? Some of this. Tactical text message. All right. We've got our little lazy bandage. Just our deck tan. Straight out of the tin, a little bit of water, and she's good to go. You know, I'm spending so much extra time here with this water, like that guy said he doesn't have extra time for. Imagine how productive I would be without thinning my paints. Did you ever consider that, chat? I might be the next Jeff Bezos, but I just spent so much time thinning paints over the years and not being like productive and buying Bitcoin in like 2002. Again, I haven't busted out my Kolinsky brush once. Mind you, I did the skin previously, and I probably was using it for that. I can't remember. We haven't had to unleash the Kolinsky Sable. You can paint so much without that, without those brushes, dude. It's so overhyped. Well, okay, that's not fair. It's not overhyped. It's just people make it sound like that's really important to get started with painting. That is not important to get started with painting. Like, you can literally jump on fucking... What's the cheapest site I can think of? Wish or Temu and get, like, a set of synthetic brushes and, like, a DDoS attack with your order. And they'll be, like, $2. And you can paint some... You can paint better than I can paint if you put the time in with just those synthetics. Is it harder? Yeah, it's like not thinning your paints. Well, maybe not that bad. But yeah, it is tougher because and you'll go through more sets of brushes because the synthetics break very easily, or they lose their tip. And they don't hold as much paint, so you got to constantly return to the well. But dude, you do not need to spend fucking hundreds of dollars on a Kolinsky set. It's just, you just don't need it. The only reason that I did was because of how much I like painting skin, and it's just easier to load the brush with the correct amount of water and paint, and to do glazing with them is heaps easier. That will be the one thing. If you're doing like glaze blending, dog, Kolinsky Sable is like one of the only ways to go. All right, we need Dawnstone. It's time for Dawnstone, baby. It's time for Dawnstone. Ugh. I'm gonna need quite a bit of this actually, because I'm gonna need to mix it up a number of times. Just chopping it up. Okay, I'll do that at first. Thin that out. Waste so much time thinning out this paint. God damn, that guy was right. Think of all that productivity. Lost, gone. Alright, let's see if we can't layer up this bad boy a little bit, huh? While we wait. Get a bit of this action on you. Hell yeah, baby. All right. Who just said that? Alcatraz in Kick Chat, you fucking animal. You just said you thinking about doing like some blood effects on this sword? You know how I feel about that, dude. Blood effects, it's like crack, right? People think one little bit of crack, I'll be fine. It won't affect me at all. And then they can't put the crack down, bro. And then the next thing you know, they're heating up blood for the blood god in a public toilet and boofing it onto their miniature. It's bad for you, brother. It should be an afterthought. You shouldn't be thinking about it here. All right, we're just going to feather in some of these first initial highlights. All right, let's see how we look there. All right, I might carry the highlights around the gouges a little bit higher onto that blade. Make it look a little bit more natural. Stop saying blood effects, kick chat. Stop this now. Stop this madness. What do you have against blood effects? It's not that I have anything against blood effects, okay? It's that blood effects corrupt absolutely. Like, you never just use a little bit of blood for the blood god. People just fucking lose their goddamn minds with blood for the blood god. I think I'm going to have to apply, I'm going to extend this feathering all the way onto the middle of the blade here. Controversial. Controversial. Wow, that was a lot. Okay. Yeah, that's what it needed. Okay. Now we're cooking. Now we're fucking cooking. Probably not going to use that much grey again. Just keep in mind, this is just the first highlight. And what I'll do is I'll pick out the, anatomy of the sword. Like these raised edges and everything as we go on. And this base highlight is just going to establish the old and weathered nature of the actual blade itself. So extending these bits of feathering a little bit up onto the body of the hamon, which it doesn't have. Try to sound smart, but it actually doesn't have a hamon, so ignore me. Extending it up onto there is just going to give it a little bit more depth of field. Make that sword come to life a little bit, you know? And yeah, I'm intentionally leaving a little bit of messiness in these areas with not covering up all the low light area. Not raising the value too completely, because this is a banged up old fucking hunk of stone. There we go, baby. That's looking a little bit better. And as we go, what I'll do is increase the value of the end of the blade and the raised portions. Yes, sir. Time to do the other side. Yes, in fact it is. Yes, in fact it is. Because people will check this, chat. It'll be me. I'll be checking it. I like that the gouges are perfectly symmetrical. That's really funny. On either side of the sword, they're just the same. Am I being a little bit more slap happy because this is the underside of the blade? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, that one part that looks just like children's finger painting, I need to touch that up. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. No, actually I don't. I don't. False alarm. Turns out children's finger painting was the vibe the entire time. Okay, I am hitting the mic stand. Hold on. There we go. I'm out of the way. This is such an awkward angle. Whoever fucking converted this to be at this angle, I hate you. It's me. I hate myself. I'm not fucking spraying blood effects onto it. You guys are demonic, bro. That is funny, though. Just toothbrush and blood for the blood god, bro. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? What I'm looking for here, I'm looking for a paint. Oh. Okay, good, good. Turns out I don't have that paint. So what I'm going to do instead is grab AK Interactive White, bro. That's what I'm talking about. About to interact with this AK Interactive. This is a goated paint, to be fair. AK White kind of hits. Kind of hits. I'm going to be honest with you, Chad. I may have put too much white in there at first. It's okay. We're just going to go for... We're going to go for a big contrast. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll be totally, totally fine. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got to keep that very, very minimal. This is not the final highlight, no. But it is going to be adding a shitload to it. Kick chat, if I agree to do a fucking blood effect, will you shut up? That is actually insane. I'm being bullied on main here into doing a fucking blood for the blood god blood effect. I've told you why. I've told you why I don't like doing it. Okay, good, good. Let's take it from the top. Take it from the top. Such calming Zen music while I do this stippling. It's beautiful. Feathering, stippling, what the fuck, who cares? While I do this weird movement of my brush. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to establish the edging here with this particular shade. And then I'm going to go down from there. Sorry, up from there on the very, very tip. So as we're looking at the blade here, these, okay, how am I going to do this? This edge along here. Don't breathe. Don't breathe, Kick. Oh, and YouTube, if anyone. Never mind, only... Stephen, have you been watching this entire time at work? Because I see a YouTube boy, but I don't hear a YouTube boy. I mean, hell yeah, if so. Right, can you guys see this? There we go. We're doing like an extremely thin detail line here. Is this an edge highlight? I don't think I would call... I suppose. Kind of. I don't know. The edge highlight will come in a second. But this is not what I would call the edge highlight. I suppose it is highlighting an edge. When will the edge highlight be allowed to come on? You're stupid. That's really funny, though. Okay. Now, that looks a little bit too proper and upright for me. I'm going to be stippling a little bit into that highlight. Just as I did with the other layer. And then the really, really, what I will call the actual edge highlight here is going to be for when I have the actual edge of the blade being highlighted. That's why I said I wouldn't really call this the edge highlight, because while it is highlighting an edge, it's more just creating a more defined band of color for our stippling and feathering. You guys are fucked with this blood effect thing, dude. It's actually so fucking annoying. It's not annoying, it's funny, but it's like... I can see you guys are having fun, and I'm glad. You know what? Just for you, Kick Chat, I will do a blood effect. It's not going to be what you think. No, that was... No, that's not a win. That's not... That's not how that works. We won. Whatever. Okay. There we go. That's looking a little bit more like a fucking weathered old blade there. Good stuff. I am aware that there is another side to this. Oh. It was just, Ivar was under my foot. I did not crush him. He is unharmed. But it is taking a drink time. Ugh. God dang. You know what? While we are doing this, I'm going to take a brief break because I need like 1 second to put this Nuln Oil on. I'm going to take a small break from the stippling, and we're going to put this Nuln Oil over that little bandage, just so we don't waste our precious time waiting for that one piece of Nuln Oil to dry later on. Okay, there we go. Easy as that. Easy as that. That's called efficiency right there. That's plenty of efficiency. Actually, speaking of efficiency, why not the skeleton horde, huh? Why not that as well? Why not some skeleton horde? After all, why shouldn't I have some skeleton horde? Why shouldn't I put skeleton horde on on this miniature, huh? I just put it all over the skin. Complete 180. Skeleton Horde, one of those contrast paints that I think they nailed it on. I had to paint a tomb. Well, I didn't have to. I accepted a commission to paint a Tomb King's army for someone, like just before Skeleton Horde dropped, bro. It's crazy. I finished the whole fucking thing, and then they dropped Skeleton Horde. It was disgusting. It's the most I've ever been disrespected in my entire life. GW just went, look at this idiot. Let him finish his project, and then we'll drop the paint that would have made that potentially like 10 times faster. Like actually 10 times faster. Alright. Let's go finish the other side of that blade, shall we, boys? You know what? This time I'm going to start with the, can you guys see that? Yes. I'm going to start with this. I wasn't sure I was actually going to trace this line at all, which is why I didn't do that at the start on the other side. But I've convinced myself. Hey man, want to color within the lines there, buddy? Chief? Pal? Okay. That's one. Okay, alright. Nice, nice. Big slip, big slip. Huge. We'll cover that up. Starting to get outside of my zone to like have a finger rest, which is what happened there. It happens to the best of us, chap. Okay, let's stipple this bad boy up. Yeah, good, good. I'm starting to get a little bit of a blade going on here now. Stippling's not dense enough there. There we are. You got to keep it kind of dense at the sort of blade's edge. Otherwise, it doesn't look realistic. Which, of course, in Kingdom Death is absolutely paramount. Yeah, so out here, I got like no finger rests out here, bro. I got like nothing. This is no man's land. This is stippling hell. Stippling, feathering, whatever. I say that every time. Okay, there we go. There we go. You know what? It's not as clean as the other side. I'm getting that fucking back of the coin laziness going. Holy shit, this is a difficult area to dog. All right. I'm gonna long brush it. Long brushing it, by the way, chat. That's where you grip the brush like at the very end, and you've got like a shitload of brush between you and the mini. I am long brushing it right now. Well and truly long brushing it. Waiting for this music to just suddenly become fucking black metal. Wouldn't that be crazy? We're just painting ambience, a little bit chill, and then it just gets nasty. Alright. Got some deathcore or something. Some Lorna Shore. Actually, that'd be kind of sick. Hella trademarked. Oh my god, what was that? Good save, good save. Okay. Ban Tukin Fastic. It's getting there now. It's getting there now. We're gonna just put now what I would call like the actual Ed. Name's Ed. Ed highlight. Oh, I've made myself laugh. All right, we're gonna go to another drop of AK Interactive. Why not? Another little bit of white in there. This is gonna be practically white. Practically white, the new shade. Ed highlight. Yes, indeed, chat. Ed highlight. My nickname in high school. Ed highlight. Got to consult my good personal friend Ed highlight. Okay. All right. Now, all being equal, I should be able to... Oh, actually, you know what I need? I need a really springy synthetic brush for this. I need something disgusting to work with usually. Oh yeah, this speaking of AK, this is the synthetic brush round by AK. This shit is so bloody fucking God. You want to talk the most synthetic brush in the world? Square tip, so you got absolutely no brush control. This thing is very, very rigid, which is its only use case. Other than that, this is almost completely unusable as a brush. But what it's great for is this exact situation right here. Oh yeah. It's like painting with a stick. No danger of that edge highlight spilling over. This AK brush has it on lock, bro. This is a very rigid brush. It's just out of the packet like this too. It's kind of crazy. All right, good. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit on the tip. Right on the tip. And I'm not going to use that. That was probably our only appearance of Mr. AK, so please give him a round of applause. That was his entire role in this paint job. All right. We're back to our friend James' workshop. I'm going to put that in my mouth for good measure. Bond with him again, you know. Okay. Let's get down to the brass of it, shall we? All right, good. Good. Good, 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 good. And we're going on the other side here as well. Doesn't make as much sense over this side, but we're going to put it there anyway. Man, the underside of this sword is like... you know when you like draw an eye and then they're like, okay, the eye looks perfect, and then you got to draw the other eye of the of the face, and you just fuck it up completely. It's essentially what I'm doing between sides of this sword. Now this little bit of that I'm putting on here is very much just going to stay its way on the edge here. I'm not going to extend this much at all. Just blending in with the little bit of edge highlighting that we did with Mr. AK Interactive, the springy brush. Just enough to let you know it's there, you know? It's really important to feather on these natural surfaces, because otherwise it looks like it's straight out of a factory line, which is okay for like a... So I suppose you can use this as a blending technique too, to get that factory line appearance for like a Space Marine or something. But that feathering just gives it a more rugged... Let me see if I can get the camera to actually focus on this thing right up close. Apparently not. Apparently not. Whoa! There we go. Fantastic. Okay. Like, I don't want this sword to look like she's just fucking driven it off the showroom floor, you know? Don't want this looking like a brand new Merc. Excellent. All right. Fantastic. Now that part there I am only going to do on the top part of the blade there. Maybe on this side as well. Just anywhere that will legitimately be catching the light. Because stone's not going to reflect a whole fuckload of light. But where it does will be a tiny little bit brighter than the rest of the model. Okay, there we go. There we go. Fantastic. Now when we bring that metal up, it'll tie in nicely with that sword. Alright. She's looking like I kind of dunked her in piss at the moment, but it will get better. Alright. I think one of the massive improvements is actually going to be that fur. So let me introduce you to the star of the fur show. That sounded really furries in chat, calm down. You've misinterpreted what I'm saying. I'm going to do a little bit now on the fur here. It's just, it is begging to be dry brush, but I ain't going to listen. I ain't listening to that shit. You got to block out those pesky voices. You got to hit it with a good old-fashioned down-home country kitchen layer up. Maybe like the world's softest, like, not even a dry brush. I suppose it is a dry brush, but like highlight round at the end. But for now, let's get us some. Let's get us something on this brush, and let's give it a little testy test, huh? Oh yeah, oh yeah. By God. Good old JR Jim Ross. My lord, that makes a difference. Okay. Okay, chat. Okay, we are in business. Big fucking business incoming. Yeah, you see where this has sort of pooled. It's done that typical Games Workshop pooling protocol. But man, look at the fur difference there, dude. That is going to look good. That is going to look good. Then if we go over that with like the tiniest little touch of maybe like a bone, like an ushapti. Ushapti. Hell yeah, that's going to look good. Oh, oh, oh. You know, it's funny, like the contrast paint, okay. Is it really quicker than just layering if I'm going to be doing this anyway? Probably not. Probably not, man. I did just want to use it. So in that way, big success, but man, just layer. Who are you kidding? Who are we fooling here? Such zen music for scrying in 1,000 pieces of fur. I'm so glad that fur doesn't cover most of this model, huh? Man, that GW contrast pooling is crazy. Typical James Workshop, bro. Hell yeah. But we have the technology. We can overpower that pooling. We can rebuild the shade, the shape, the color, the texture, the mouthfeel. Imagine if I just put this in my mouth right now. Wouldn't that be crazy? Right. I'm telling you, bro, this mic stand is my biggest op. The amount of sabotage attempts it's made on this paint job is actually kind of crazy. Yeah, excellent. Excelente. As I said, I'm not 100% sure that we saved any time with that contrast paint whatsoever. But that ain't the point. I just wanted to see what it looked like. It'll be interesting to see the sort of richness of the fur once I'm done. Just with this contrast as the base. Because I'm so used to using, well, real paints. Oh, it's massively increasing the like overall impact of the miniature of the piece, you know. So in that respect, we have great success. But that is because I am layering up the fur, not because of the inequality of the contrast paint. Keep that in mind. This is incredibly... Oh, it's not incredibly tedious. It's repetitive. Whoa. Easy there, boy. Jesus. Who was painting then? Excellent slip of the brush right there. That'll be fun to touch up. Pretty sure I can just make that look better with the more extreme highlight. I mean, Kingdom Death is actually like in the painting community at least, it's like very like widely known. You think you're getting into Kingdom Death and you're like, oh man, I've never heard of anyone like playing or doing this, and the miniatures look cool, but then it's like everyone knows it, dude. Everyone fucking knows it. It's crazy. I was like, wow, this real niche like mini game that I'd never heard of, but I really want to paint some of their stuff, which is how I got into it. And then everyone was like, oh yeah, dude, I love Kingdom Death. I was like, okay, thanks for telling me about that. You know, thanks for just gatekeeping this property from me. Alright, so we're just gonna follow the like grain of the fur here on either side, because it's kind of fanning out from the central spine portion in the middle. So we're just following that. We just want to remove really any of the really large areas where that contrast has pooled, because that looks really fucking awful. And you heard me say, if you were sort of watching when I put the contrast on, that I knew that it was going to do that, right? Like, this is not, that's a typical Games Workshop contrast paint, baby. This is just another day at the office for Games Workshop, but it's still, no matter how much I moved that around, it's still really, really pooled up there. Which is sometimes unavoidable, to be fair. Not all contrast paints. It's not all the paint's fault, is what I'm trying to say. But Citadel paints do that a fucking load. Like, Jesus Christ. It is interesting that they all do that. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. Again, just being mindful of the like grain pattern here of this fur. All right. Yeah, look how much that's popping already. Jesus. Shoot. All right, let's get this stuff. My God, stop hitting the mic stand, dog. It's crazy. This is diabolical. All right, only got the glove to go, I'm pretty sure. And I do want to increase the depth and value of this fur a little bit more after this coat. So I will do a little bit. I'm thinking of Ushabti bone. What say you to Ushabti bone, chat? Keeping in mind that I will not be taking your opinions into account. Okay. There we go. There's our girl. That's looking more like she's covered in a fucking pelt now, isn't it? Now, we're being distracted by the big piss skull at the top at the moment. But we will be fixing that. Un momento, por favor. Okay? The piss skull can wait. We've got other things to do for now. What we're going to do... Actually, can the piss skull wait? Yes, the piss skull can wait. Just touch up that tiny little bit there. I got a little excited with the fur. Got them apple bottom jeans, bro. Do I just go over and finish the fur? This is my proposition to you. You know what? It's gonna tie into what I need for the skull anyway. So fuck it. We ball. I'm gonna mix me up some new Ushabti bone, because you leave that little cheeky minx on the palate for too long and it just becomes like Kellogg's Crunchy Nut cereal. a real nugget style chunklet. All right, that's a bit better. There's a bit more liquidity, bro. Like a good investment. That's what you want your paint to be like. Never forget that one dude who never had time to mix his paints. All right, we're going real light over this as well. Like, almost imperceptibly light with this contrast. You're going to get a couple of bits that are going to be heavier than the others, but oh my god, I forgot to do the bottom part of the... Okay, we'll come back to that. Forgot to do the bottom part of the boots, bro. Yeah, these are very light touches. He said as he just pulled like a massive bit of it. You know what? You know, I said I wasn't going to do this. But I think it's time we unleash the Kolinsky Sable. I think it's time. I need the brush control. L brush control. Here we go, baby. Oh my god, it just feels so much better in my hand already. Actually crazy. Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's like driving a Maserati. Again, cannot stress enough how much you do not need one of these brushes. But goddamn, if you've got one, use it. You know what I'm saying? Sheesh. The sheer fucking brush control difference is actually mental. That's fucking bonkers, dude. Okay. Haven't even warmed it up yet either. It's still cold. Someone's going to be like, what do you mean warming up your paintbrush? I'm joking. Everyone is so fucking little. Man, that was a big slip of my brush there. See if I can fix it. Okay, short answer is no. But I can go over there with a bit more of the contrast. It'll be fine. Yeah, everyone's so fucking literal on the internet, dude. You make like one joke about a painting technique that doesn't exist. People are like, what did you mean by that? Explain this to me in autistic detail, please. I was like, dog, I can't. It's fake. It never existed. It's fiction. Sorry, Chad, I got too locked in there. I forgot where the model was. Okay. We're going to go straight for the boot with the fur. The actual Kolinsky L, it could never. It's always Kolinsky dubs. It's just crazy. Even the mic stand can't handle it. Just be batting that shit out of the way with my Kolinsky Sable handle. I'm joking. That part is still very annoying, but there's nothing really much I can do about that. Oh, a bit of piano solo coming in. Bet you weren't ready for that. I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter on these collar pieces, just because they are the areas that are going to be catching any and most of the light. Fur, not very reflective, so you don't have to worry about it getting like crazy bright, but a little bit more brightness up here. Look at her go, bro. Look at her go now. Woo, sheesh. We get that glove under control. Let's get that glove going. Again, it can be quite bright up here because this is an area that is like focal, but it's also on the back of the model, which means Squidmar Miniatures would not paint it. It's a drive-by. I actually love their painting style. It's so different to mine, but it's very cool. That like volumetric like shading and lighting. It's a very interesting way to paint literally everything that they do. And it don't get me wrong, it really works for them. Some of the stuff I'd paint differently. But I'm nowhere near as good of a painter as they are. So who the fuck cares, you know? Alright. Now, don't forget them boots. We have forgotten the boots. I have done nothing. Nothing at all to these boots. So, I'm going to go back there with my little bit of Zandridust. You can see how dark those boots are compared to the current fur. So it does make quite a big difference if we're highlighting our fur up here. So as far as the contrast being a standalone paint, well, I never use them as standalone paints, but I know some people are really, really good with contrast and speed paints and shit. But this one for me, Colossal L as a standalone paint, I'd give it maybe a 6.5 out of 10 as a base. It's probably a lot higher if you were going to base coat the Mini in Wraithbone or a lighter color already. Then I could see it really being good. But at the moment, if you have to like prep from a black base coat up to the like a white or a bone, and then all of that was to just use the contrast paint, dude, just paint. Your finger's broken? Like, there's no point. You get the same result here. You could almost just do the first highlight and then a Nuln Oil and then the first highlight color again that I'm using here. It's that kind of... Oh my god, I just dipped into the same fucking paint again. Have you ever heard of anything so stupid? What's the next big Oh, Kick would chat. Wouldn't you like to know? And I will tell you. This is the next big project for me. I'll be painting this Mama Jamma. God, look at her. You can't talk to her, she's mine. Two boys in Kick Chat losing their fucking mind. Okay. Yeah, the boots being highlighted, important. Not a good one to forget. So glad we picked up on that. Just that little touch. I think it was KickChat who reminded me that I didn't do the boots. Or did I notice that? Am I just giving you guys credit? That was a fairly heavy-handed application of that. Okay. All right. Now it's looking a little bit better. Okay. Still the piss skull at the top, which is really fun. But now that we've got this paint on our brush, let's address the piss skull rumors. Let's do it. I'm down. What is this skull anyway? Like a rabbit? Be pretty morbid if it's a rabbit. Painting skulls is just like painting faces, chap. Except way less stressful. Okay, I want to keep that groove there. Nice. Want to paint this bit here. All right. See, it's already starting to fight the piss rumors. Already. Now it's just got piss horns. But we can easily deal with those rumors as well. There we go. Look at that. It's looking less out of a urinal as we speak. I always wonder, like, people that just drop by for like 2 seconds of the stream, hear me say something like completely unhinged and unrelated to painting, and then just never come back. You know, I wonder if that's their entire opinion of this channel, because that's not entirely incorrect. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. We're going to do it like this. God, the focus. Brilliant. Okay. All right, less piss skull now. It's still a little piss skull, but it's getting there. Should we do the next layer of the hair? I feel like the next big thing that's really going to set this bitch off is... oh, I shouldn't say that. Set this lovely woman off is the hair. No, I'm gonna keep some of the mystery alive. Give me Mordfang Brown. Yes. Yes, Mordfang Brown time. What are we doing with Mordfang Brown, chat? You may ask. What are we doing? We're gonna do some of the leather highlights, baby. Give me some of them leather highlights. Don't need a lot of this. But since we got old Kalinsky out, sounds like a really either like a business firm associate or like a really posh Italian mobster's wife. That's Kalinsky's wife, you know? Lady Kalinsky. Oh my god, I've just got Mordfang Brown. Good thing I'm wearing like white everything right now. Excellent. Okay. Now the plan with the leather in these portions at least is a little bit of feathering around. You notice I loaded quite a bit of paint onto this brush. I'm not being sparing here. But we do want to try and keep in mind that there is still going to be shadow areas. So we're going to keep those recesses between the furs and everything like that still shaded in the original layer. We're also going to do the similar thing with these boots here. We're going to put a little bit of the brown onto those more raised areas there. Work it, and we're going to end this in a little bit of feathering essentially everywhere that we're ending the layer or the highlight. Using Mournfang Brown as a highlight is kind of wild, but that's what we're doing. Excellent. So I don't know if you would call this a highlight. It's more like a layer. Almost a base layer. Almost. But we've got slightly more real estate that it takes up, let's say. Okay, let's do that. Right up at the neck here. Good, good. Now I'm going to do a little bit in here, but not a huge amount, because this is going to catch almost no light in here. But we're still going to put a little tiny bit just down there. Alright, what other brown layering do we have to... Ah, yes. On the straps on the arm. Fantastic. These arm straps are like one of the smallest bits of leather that we have to work on, so this will be the... If you can do this, we can do... Oh, the mic stand almost just my op again. It is getting a little oppy outside. Okay. Amazing. Alright. Now, with the brown on the belt, I am probably going to push that up as well. Going to get that really thinned out because the belt is tiny. Good. Now this has reminded me that she is also wearing mostly a tunic here that is leather underneath the actual fur. So let's do a little bit on that as well. Maybe with a little bit more paint on the brush for that. Which also reminds me, there is a bit of leather on the side boob. Let us not forget the treasured side boob. Focus. Maintain focus, Agent Hellboy. I see you, side boob leather. Okay, there we go. A little bit more on the belt now. Oh, that's a lot of paint. Okay. As it tapers off into this area at the back here, I'm probably not going to do more than that initial highlight, just because the light won't reach there. So this, as I said, is less of a highlight and more of a base layer. It has properties of both, and it's really just up to like a literal vibes as to where you want to put it. All right. Now that I've done that, let's get some Scrag brown, and let's pick out the rest of the brown here. There we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Nice, easy little bit of Scrag brown. All right, let's start on an area that's nice and predictable. There we go. And we're just making our brush strokes a little bit lighter with the Scrag brown. Just over that Mournfang. It's a way to, like, this sounds stupid, but it essentially glazes for you if you do like a super light brush stroke. Especially towards the end of some of these little areas here as we tie it back down. I suppose it's almost the same as like a stippling effect. It's very, very similar to that. In fact, I do find myself accidentally stippling quite a lot. There we go. Excellent. And this is where you're gonna, it's essentially raising this, the color value of this brown, just to sort of rise to meet the fur a little bit more, because otherwise the fur just is way too prominent. Good stuff. Nice brush print there, idiot. Now, keeping in mind how light works, especially in that like armpit area there, where I didn't highlight directly under the arm, I highlighted all around it. So you're not getting that full, we're not just layering straight over the top of it. This is acting more like a highlight. I'll be approaching the belt in a similar sort of way. Excellent. Yeah, now the inside of that boot we're not hitting with a with any highlight at all, because there's no light on that area. But the outside of this boot here, we will hit with a pretty generous one. Again, just easing up the brush strokes towards the bottom there. Just to blend that down. Now, of course, if we were going tabletop plus standard with this or something like that, we would glaze to blend that all in together. But at the moment, aside from those little cuffs there, let me take care of that. I'm going to put this only where the light is going to actually reflect. There we go. Do a little bit there and a little bit there. Excellent. And look how much she's starting to actually look like a fucking thing that is painted and not just a blob. Ain't that the truth? Just want to increase the value of this center belt buckle a little bit more. Okay. Now you could, there is an argument to go with like a Deathclaw brown over the top of that. I think if you make that argument for this level, you have to go and highlight almost everything else again as well. So I'm keeping that there. We are onto the metal. Let us do a little bit of work with the metal. This is probably the simplest one. This is just going to be following reflection. We used a true metallic here, so you know we're painting on super baby thumbsucker mode. So this is literally just going to be a case of 1 to 2 highlights. I think only 1 in this situation because there's no metal that's like prominent. It's all on the like shin pads, which is not exactly the most forward and prominent facing thing. Now, highlighting with true metallics, going to go essentially just a little bit brighter. Oh, fuck, I'm using a true metallic with the wrong brush, but that's all right. And essentially just go a little bit brighter and then just hit it with the light. So you can see there that the light is going across these bands. And it's also going up here like that. Now, you can see it's almost totally different on the top here. The light is kind of hitting the entire thing. Like that. And we're just going to go around and essentially see where the light goes. Now, I am going to stop using my Kolinsky Sable with this. Because that is abhorrent brush etiquette, my boy. Kolinsky deserves better. So we're going to just go to whatever this is. This is definitely some sort of animal fur, this really old Games Workshop brush. I just don't know what. We'll do a thin highlight in the middle there. Just a real cheeky one. And then maybe another thin layer just across here. There we go. Now with the parts up the top, you can see here that it's really just catching the light here and here. You don't have to overcomplicate it too much. A lot of the shadowing of the model's like upper half is going to shield a lot of the more tucked away metal. So you really don't have to think too much about it. Wherever the light hits, just follow that. That's how you know you're right. It's like this shin pad here. We're going to hit the highlights on the corner, but we're not going to really do anything else because this is the only part that's exposed to the light. There we go. Now we're going to have a different conversation about the blade haft in a second. Is that even the correct part of the blade? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Man, I might have to change my mic to overhead. This is actually crazy. So here, immediately, light hits here. Very easy goo goo gaga baby highlight right there. So let's go into this. Whatever this thing is. Now, on the sides of this, just be conscious where that light is hitting once again. These rings here, again, these are prime highlighting area, or rings, I should say, like little square bangly things. We're probably going to put this highlight across the sort of, not front, but what would you call this part of the blade? This part is still visible. So we're still going to hit that with the higher value metal. We're not really going to worry about the inside too much. I will just lap over so that there's no discontinuity with the highlight here. And we'll, of course, do the part on the front there, as you can see that. And now we come to the actual designed portion of the guard. I suppose you'd call this the guard, would you not? And this part we're just going to pick out all the raised areas, which are essentially already picked out for us. This is very, very simple. Good stuff. Awesome. Now that little face in there is its own thing. I'm going to do in a stone face motif. So we can be pretty messy with this little highlight here across the front. There we go. Now we're going to hit the side of this as well. And we're going to hit a little bit at the back. So at the back here, we're just going to do the top half, essentially. Just the part that's actually showing any light reflection at all. There we go. So, nice and easy there. This, the metal on the back of the guard here as well, where it's going to be facing pretty much front and center, we are going to just color that in. All right. Now, while we're doing that metal, we may as well do the gold. We may as well do the next part on that one bit of gold. I am saving the hair. You've caught me. You've caught me saving the hair. Let me just get this gold. Oh my god, it was hiding from me. It was hiding from me, no less. Okay. Whoop. Now, really following here where it's going to pick up the light. Keeping in mind, gold is like hella reflective. Sometimes, depending on the light, even sort of its value can rival silver. So we are going to be pretty liberal with this, with the highlight here. Nice, get a good bit of that fur in there too. Good, 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 good. Excellent. Okay. It just brings a little bit of life, you can see now, to that arm cuff. Just has a little bit more pop to it. What I'm going to do now is tiny little bit of fur that I've kind of roughed up a little bit with that gold, but also this little tiny bit of fur that was hiding away on the arm here. All right. Excellent. Damn, that piano gets me every time, dude. Good thing that that gold doesn't affect the value of the paint on top. Am I right? You know? I'd be pretty pissed if this was a showcase piece and I just made that tiny slip, to be quite honest with you. But because I'm not actually painting that intensely here, I'm not actually that mad. Watch me resurrect this shit from the ashes. Oh, it's like it was never there. Oh yeah. As I say, worst comes to worst in that sort of situation, you just put a bit more contrast paint on that area. But that's actually, you can see there, we've almost completely fixed that. I am going to put a little bit of contrast paint once that has dried. Now, where's my deck tan? There he is. There's old reliable, old Decky. It's one of the simplest like bandage recipes that I could possibly do, and it's just deck tan and then Nuln Oil and then deck tan again. But man, it just hits. It just hits every time. Probably not the best idea to use this much paint while doing this, but Mama did not raise no coward. Hell yeah. All right. Flip around. Awesome. Yeah, that it just hits. It just hits, bro. I don't know what to tell you. It just hits. All right. I have been avoiding doing the hair and the stone face. Let's do the stone face now. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna use the forbidden technique of actually painting a stone face. People are like, oh, your stone facing on your basing is you put so much effort into the model, and then you put so little into the stone faces on the base. Yeah, dude, that's because the original Survivor batch that I had, I did not paint. That was someone else's handiwork, and I just have to live with the fact that their bases weren't like the greatest. So I matched them all into that, but you'll notice like Aeneas got her own, obviously she had her own feature base, but any of the big models I've decided, fuck it, continuity be damned. This is not a big model, but I'll show you just what I'm talking about. How I would usually paint a stone face that was not under the foot of my models here. The ones without stone faces on the base, like this one here, I've been just doing a simple like split earth kind of effect, which doesn't look too out of place, but is also not complete garbage, but it is very low effort. Extremely so. Which is weird, because when I was painting Warhammer, like, the basing, or War Machine, the basing was like a big part of my painting. Actually, I recently painted a Karchev the Terrible. A War Machine Karchev the Terrible. Does anyone know what that is? He looks kind of dope, if you ask me. Hold on, let me grab him for you. He's heavy as hell. Actually, let me get this out of... Let me get this out of here for a second. Alright, Karchev. Oh my god. He weighs a ton. Oh, he's so fucking heavy. Alright. Yeah, there he is. There's our boy Karchev. And you see, like, the base. Well, it's not the most complicated, but... Yeah, check out Karchev, bro. Die. 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 Ugh. Yeah, but that wouldn't, I'm not gonna lie, someone painted me, someone paid me to paint that, so I kind of had to lock in. That was not a relaxed project. They're picking that up in like 2 days' time. So, Karchev might get a little feature on the old Instagram, but he's not going to be going up on the channel. Alright. Piss skull or hair? Piss skull or hair? Piss skull or hair? I think I'm gonna go piss skull, actually. Alright, which is lighter? Holy shit, Wraithbone is so bright, bro. Crazy. Alright, we don't need a huge amount for this. Oh my god, so much of that. We don't need a huge amount for this, just fucking the most paint I've ever loaded up with that brush ever. Huge. I really wish Citadel paints came in droppers like Vallejo paints. Vallejo. That would be really, really nice. Little quality of life improvement. Okay. Let's get the piss skull looking slightly less piss. Hell yeah. Okay, a little bit more up here. A bit more on the top, please, Doctor. Doctor? It was a Jewish doctor. Fuck, that guy's unhinged. Great music, though. Aside from that one song, which we don't talk about. Hasn't he redacted all that shit? Did I read that somewhere, or did he say that? I don't know, man. I don't got time to keep up with that. But it was a Jewish doctor. Good thing I backed up the entire, like, paint palette to... Man, would you just cooperate with me, please? There we go. Okay. Hey, piss skull looking slightly less piss, huh? Look at that. Alright. I've decided what I'm going to do for the claws on the gauntlet is just a straight white highlight. Because Wraithbone is apparently very, very white. Which I kind of knew going in, but it's jarring to see. So straight white, tiny little bit of highlight. I hate working in just absolute whites. It is, one of my least favorite colors to just paint with. I think it destroys the value of a lot of these. Let's go up like that. White, yuck. Hey man, don't slip and paint the hand. Good boy. Good man. Good man. There we go. Excellent. And now we can do a little bit of mixing of a bit of white with some Adorn Stone. And I'll get to painting a little stone face. Doesn't that sound fun? You would like that, wouldn't you? A little bit of stone face painting. This is rapidly approaching the area where now I can just base this up. But I am saving the hair to last. Now we're going to be friends with each other, aren't we, Stoneface? Kind of. Not the most detail on this stone face here. It's a pretty shallow sculpt, but still enough for us to go in there and put some detail on it. This is essentially how I would paint each stone face on the base of one of these models if I was so inclined to spend that much time doing so. And then go through and rebase the original survivors that I have. Which I really should have just done initially, but I didn't. So, there's that. Excellent. Okay. While that is drying, I will mix up a slightly brighter version of that layer. Good stuff. It's going to be a very similar sort of color value to the sword. And guess what? They're both made of stone. Huge coincidence. All right. Well, have I got a surprise for you, whoever just said that in Kick Chat. Mighty Moose. That tutorial is coming out in like 30 minutes. So aren't you a spoilt chap? There we go. There's a little stone face in there for you. How about that shit? How about that? Well, you can't really... Man, it's so... there you go. There you go. He's like a stone Australian Prime Minister John Howard. That's a niche reference there for you. All right. The next thing I will get will be some Screaming Skull, because I'm going to do the last on the Piss Skull. The Piss Skull will be the Piss Skull no more. You just wait. You just fucking wait. The Piss Skull is now going to become the well-layered up skull. It only looked like it was covered in piss when we had the the contrast paint on there fresh. But now, as I come into this final part here, you will see it is going to become the beautiful skull. Kick Chat, I know, you had no faith. You had no faith, Kick. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. It's going to take more than a tiny bit of cat hair in between my fingers to stop me from focusing. There we go. You just got to lock in a little bit, right? You just got to, when in doubt, Kolinsky Sable. Yes, sir. All right. And now we're just going to go onto the very top portions of the horns with this final bit here. There we are. Maybe a little bit there. Excellent. Piss Skull no more. Now Ram Skull is my new best friend. Now it's time for the part that everyone has been waiting for. Yes, sir. You heard that correctly. It's hair time, baby. All right, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with the hair? Or should I do the eyes? I just keep teasing you. Which one of you fuckers just said the blood effect? Mighty Moose, you must be familiar with my... who are you on YouTube? Don't you be shy. You just gave yourself away, Mighty Moose. Blood effect, fucking crazy call out. I don't want to... Fuck it, I will do a blood effect. Fuck it. You've provoked me, Mighty Moose. That's what you've done. Yeah, I will use this brush, actually. Ooh. Okay, we thin her out. Okay. Now, big sweeping hair like this is quite often actually really, really annoying to layer up. But it's red hair, so it's going to be fine. Because red hair is for baddies only. Okay. Alright. Let's get to it then. My lord, that is some long hair. Just painted one strand and I visibly aged. Really starting to feel the weight of how I converted this model as well. You can tell by the way it's moving as I brace against it that it was not part of the original sculpt. Because I'm such a prolific sculptor and painter. That was a joke. I'm almost going to have to come at this hair in two portions here. Like the lower and the upper. But I don't want to break like continuity too much. Oh, she got some long ass hair, brother. Yes, this was Aeneas's hair originally, but I went with the ponytail or the braid that you can give to Aeneas as the option. The reason being because I wanted to paint more of her skin. And this big hairstyle covered up a shitload of the skin, and the model lost impact, in my opinion. When the focal point of the model is... Okay, so obviously there's an argument to be made that this hair can become a focal point of Aeneas if it was put on her, but the focal point of that model, and I will die on this hill, is the skin. It's like any other pin-up series model. The focus is the skin, and having the hair there, it simply serves to obscure and draw away from that focus. So I put the ponytail on instead, because this hair is a statement. but it makes it too confusing as to where the viewer's eye is supposed to go. Hence why I did not end up putting it on. And I saved it for this little mini project. Nice miss hit there. Nice miss hit. Good brush stroke there. I meant that one. Fortunately, with hair and stuff that's like a little bit more organic, it's not like ultra demanding of accuracy, but a little bit is nice. He says as his Kolinsky sable becomes a fucking dry brush. Okay. I feel like this kind of layering is all I've been doing the entire model. Like, because we had to do the fur like this and everything like that. I feel like it's just been this over and over and over. See, I want continuity in the hair strands. Which, to be fair, it is happening. Good miss input right there. That can't happen with our next layer. But for now, that's acceptable. We'll just call it natural look, huh? Exactly. Okay, and the good news is that after that first hair layer, we also, and don't think I'm finished with this, we also get to paint the other side with a similar hair layer. So we don't want to break continuity of the strands here, especially not in the area of greatest light reflection. So just a little check of those areas before you move on. There we go. Okay. Ah, good. You can see that my expert green stuffing right there. Showing out real nice. Okay. Now, while the underside of this hair is going to be hit with this first highlight, the second highlight I will be a lot more sparing on the underside of the hair, purely because not a lot of light is going to be hitting there. There will be some, especially out near these portions that I'm painting right now. But it will be no means as prominent as the top, because that is where most of the light will be contained and collected. I'm really long brushing it right now. Don't know if you can tell. We are well and truly long brushing it. I'm gripping that brush near the fucking tip. And before someone's gonna see this, I'm gonna post this shit on Instagram. Someone will be like, the hair is an absolute focal point of this piece. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. The thing I spent like the least time on. Thank you. You know when someone says something to you and you're like, literally the only thing you can say back, they're like, oh, I love your da 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 da. The only thing you think to say back is, "Oh, thanks, I like your compliment." Like, fucking, what do I say to that shit, dude? Oh, thanks, it didn't matter to me at all. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. Layer 1. Complete. There we go. Blood effect when? Fuck. You know, YouTube chat would never do this, mostly because YouTube chat is one man sitting there working at his desk, offering input every now and then, and Stephen Jesse is Edwardian when he messages, by the way. Fucking kick chat. Okay. Where did I put the next shade up here? Hello? Evil Sun Scarlet? There we go. This really do be one of the last things I've got to have to do on this model. Crazy. Yeah, I did take my time a little bit here because I was gas bagging with Kick, and I suppose a tiny bit with YouTube, and also having to paint like at an awkward angle in front of a camera always takes a little bit more time, but not a very time-consuming piece. I really only put about, well, it's hard to tell because I was painting it at the same time as other things, but not much time at all into it before. Man, that was a really poorly loaded brush. Holy shit. Just load that shit with the most paint you've ever seen. Dog. Can this red cooperate with me, please? That would be lovely. Yeah, we're just putting this on the areas of the hair there that would pick up sort of the most of the light. After that, then we will make it continuous. Okay. So you can see there, I'm sort of just introducing it onto those like curls where the, or not curls, where that wave of hair where the light is being caught. And now I'm going to work it into the larger hairstyle here. And we're going to go down and do these couple of little edges here as well that are pretty prominent. Give it some frosted tips. Awesome. Now, with the bottom here, we're going to be pretty sparing, but we are going to hit the side of this area there. There we go. This one here as well. And this one here. This one here. That one in there. This one here. Awesome. So we're going to be pretty sparing in here. Man, this red is not cooperating with me. So anywhere here that it's really going to catch light. So not a lot in here, but a few bits leading up to there will definitely catch some light. Yeah, there we go. We might put one more little extra bit on here. There we go. All right, let's do the little bits of strands up near the face. Amazing. All right. Now, there is one little area here which I'm going to do, and I'm going to do a lightning skin round here, because this little area must have missed me. In the original. So we got our rock stars here. I'm just going to do a burnt red and a sunny skin tone. I'm not going to do anything fancy with this at all. I'm going to do the tiniest mix of this I think I've ever done in my life. It's just for behind that that right leg. Good stuff. Mix that shit up. Water it down a little bit. This one doesn't need any highlights or anything like that on it. It just needs to exist. Because I know it's there. And as I said, I'm the person who's going to go check. I'm going to pick your fucking model up. I'm going to be like, hey, do you mind if I have a look at that, bro? It looks really good. You'll be like, yeah. I'm going to go right to the most awkward part. I'm going to be looking for what you have forgotten. I'm that guy. I'm Himothy. All right. What about the blood effect? Diabolical. Diabolical message. Great viewing angle for you guys. You can really see what's going on here. Holy shit, even better painting angle. I'm painting Braille here. I can't see nothing. Going by feel. All right, that'll do. See, now it actually, she has a leg. She has a leg. Fantastic. I'm not going to do any highlights on that because that area is well and truly obscured, which is convenient because I did forget it. The only other thing I'm going to do, where's my... Would you shut the fuck up about the blood effects? Holy shit, Kick. It is funny. I will say it is funny. The fucking blood effects. I'm just going to put the tiniest little bit of Gore Grunter Brown over that little area here. Where there was gold spillover. No one will have to know. They'll know. They won't know. Why? Why would they know? All right. Essentially, we're looking at a fairly completed... oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely... Not the fucking blood. You're absolutely right. She don't have no eyes yet. She do not have no eyes yet. Man, that's upsetting. Okay. Eyes. Eyes, huh? What are we going to do? What are we going to do about this? I'm going to give her the best eyes I can possibly give right now. Man, I wish I had my, like, toothpick here. Okay, all right. Eyes alive, my strength, my forte, if you will. This is gonna be... it's gonna be so easy. You just wait. I really should have painted these beforehand. I usually always do that. Holy shit, he threaded the needle. Holy shit, it's Jason Bourne. Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. Oh my God, he just nailed that live. Huge. I have you know that's like the best I've ever done that. Usually I paint, if I'm painting eyes seriously, I paint them first and then fill the skin in around it and like box it back in. God damn, we ain't giving her no pupils. Get fucked. Not on a model like that. When I have my toothpick and I'm doing the basing, I'll do that. But yeah, there she is. Blood effect on the weapon. Would you shut the fuck up about the blood effect? Dog, you're killing me with the blood effect thing. But no, there's my little custom survivor. She's doing a little two-step jig here. You see? You see that shit, that little bit of footwork there? Planting that foot here and then really swinging it through. Look at her from the back. Look at that shit. Oh my God, swinging that big old fucking sword. Thanks for coming out. Mostly Kick Chat, but also to you, Stephen Jesse. I see you. I see you. Can we get a... Hold on, Stephen, I know you're working. Can I get some form of acknowledgement? Some form. I'm putting him on the spot. I'm putting him on the spot. No, I guess we can't. That's all right. Stephen, you have a go. Oh, wait, he typed. What is that? O exclamation mark XO. Oh, it says C. Why did that translate? Oh, we got a live translate. He's speaking in runes here in the YouTube. Hey, all right. But Kick Chat, nice to hang out with you, you degenerates. I'm not putting a fucking blood effect on that model. Everyone who came out here, thanks very much for coming out. Just a little bit of a chill stream here as I finished off. I'm trying to do a model a day, see if I can increase my brush control any notably. And, well, for those interested, we'll probably see you tomorrow. Patreon supporters for keeping the lights on with their huge pendulous wangs. Probably be doing some ratchet